The night was silent in the deep stretch of space. Stars shone like cold diamonds, far away and uncaring. A lonely human cargo ship drifted slowly, carrying food and supplies to a mining colony. The crew was small, tired, and weak. They never expected trouble. But then, trouble came. From the shadows of an asteroid field, a massive alien pirate ship appeared. Its dark metal body looked like the bones of a monster. Red lights blinked across its sides like hungry eyes. Everyone on the human ship froze in fear when the alarm rang. The name of the pirate ship spread like fire among traders, the Black Fang. Wherever it appeared, no one survived. The pirate captain was known as Scareth. His name made even soldiers whisper. He was tall, with skin like stone and eyes that glowed with a cruel red light. He had burned colonies, stolen treasures, and left only smoke behind. To him, humans were weak prey, good only for gold, slaves, and laughter. Tonight, his target was this tiny cargo vessel. The crew of the human ship ran to hide. Mothers pulled children close. Workers dropped their tools and prayed. The captain of the ship tried to beg for mercy over the comms, but Scareth only laughed. His voice shook the air. Mercy? There is no mercy in space. Hand me your cargo, and perhaps I will leave your bones floating in one piece. The pirates began boarding. Their heavy boots shook the floor as they stormed the small vessel. The humans hid in corners, hands shaking, eyes wide. They had nothing strong to fight with, only fear. But then something strange happened. Among the frightened humans, a boy stepped forward. He looked no older than 12. His clothes were worn, his shoes torn, yet his eyes were steady and his small fists were clenched. While others cried, he stood in the middle of the hall as the alien pirate captain entered. The pirates laughed when they saw him. "Look, Captain," one shouted. "The humans sent us a child to beg." Another pirate smirked. "Maybe he wants to shine our boots before we burn his ship." But the boy did not bow. He did not beg. He lifted his head and looked straight at the towering alien captain. His voice was small but strong. "You will not touch this ship," he said. "Not while I am here." The hall fell silent. Even the pirates stopped laughing for a moment. The humans hiding in the shadows gasped. A child had just spoken to Scareth, the cruelest pirate in the sector, as if he were an equal. Scareth stared down at the boy. His sharp teeth glimmered as he grinned. "Bold words, little human," he growled. "Do you not know my name? Do you not fear me?" The boy shook his head slowly. "I know who you are, but I am not afraid." For the first time in many years, the alien pirate captain did not laugh right away. He felt something stir inside, a strange pause, an odd question in his mind. Why was this child not afraid? He had seen grown men cry, soldiers scream, even warships surrender. But here was a boy, barefoot and fragile, staring up at him with fearless eyes. The pirates began to jeer again, shouting for Scareth to crush the boy and end the joke. One pirate pushed forward, raising his blade, but the captain stopped him with a raised hand. His curiosity was stronger than his hunger for blood. At least for the moment, Scareth bent down, lowering his great face until his glowing eyes were inches from the boy's. "Tell me," he whispered, his voice like thunder in a cave. "Why do you stand before me? Why do you not run like the others?" The boy's answer was simple. "Because this ship needs someone who will not run." The words echoed through the hall. They were not the words of a soldier or a leader. They were the words of a child, but they carried a weight that even the pirates could feel. Scareth's grin widened. He straightened to his full height, towering over the boy. His claws reached for his weapon. The crew trembled, waiting for the end, but still the boy did not move. His eyes never wavered. The alien pirate captain, feared across the stars, raised his weapon high. And then he stopped. His hand shook for the smallest second. Something in the boy's eyes made his chest tighten. For the first time in years, Scareth felt uncertain. The hall was silent, the humans frozen, the pirates waiting. Would the mighty Scareth strike the boy down? Or had something far greater just begun? The air inside the cargo ship was heavy. Everyone still held their breath. The alien pirate captain Scareth stood over the boy, weapon in hand, but something in his heart made him pause. It was as if the boy's eyes carried a strength larger than his small body. The silence felt endless. Finally, Scareth lowered his weapon slightly, though not out of kindness. He wanted to know why this child dared to stand against him. He leaned closer, his red eyes glowing like fire. "You are not afraid of me," he said slowly. "Then tell me, what makes you so bold? What do you hide, little human?" The boy did not flinch. His voice was steady. "I am protecting something," he said. "Something you must never touch." Gasps rose from the hidden crew. The pirates turned their heads toward each other, confused. A small child talking as if he carried a great secret? They began to laugh again, but it was not the same cruel laughter as before. This time there was unease beneath it. Scarath tilted his head. "Something I must never touch?" "And what would that be?" The boy slowly lifted his hand. In his grip was a small box no larger than a man's fist. It looked old, made of black stone with glowing lines across its surface. Strange symbols glimmered on it like living light. The glow seemed to pulse as though the box was breathing. The pirates fell silent. Even Scarath narrowed his eyes. He had stolen treasures from every corner of the galaxy, but never had he seen an object like this. "It is mine to guard," the boy said, "and it will never belong to you." The alien captain's grin returned. "A toy box? This is your secret?" He reached out with his clawed hand, confident that nothing in the hands of a child could harm him. But the moment his skin touched the stone, the box flashed with a blinding light. A hiss of smoke rose as the box burned his hand. Scarath let out a roar of pain and pulled back, clutching his palm. The crew gasped in shock. The fearless pirate captain, wounded by a child's trinket. The boy stood calm, holding the box against his chest. "I warned you," he said, the pirates muttered in fear. "It burned the captain. It rejected him. Is it cursed?" "Is it alive?" Scarath glared at the boy, his teeth bared. But deep inside he felt something he had not felt in decades. Doubt. That box was no ordinary object. It was ancient, powerful, and dangerous. And somehow it had chosen to respond to a human child instead of him. "What is that thing?" Scarath demanded. The boy's answer was quiet but clear. "It is something that chooses. It knows who is worthy. And it has chosen me." The words spread like fire through the hall. Chosen? A child chosen by an object even the pirate captain could not hold. The pirates exchanged worried looks. Superstitions filled their minds. Many of them had grown up hearing stories of old relics left behind by ancient races, relics said to carry the power of suns and storms. None of them expected to see one with their own eyes. Scarath clenched his jaw. He would not show weakness in front of his crew. He towered over the boy and growled, "If it has chosen you, then you will prove it. Or I will crush you where you stand." The boy nodded. "Then test me. But know this, you cannot force the box. Only it decides." The pirates shouted for the captain to kill the boy and end the nonsense. But others whispered that perhaps the child spoke truth. If the box truly had power, striking him down might anger forces far beyond them. Scarath raised his hand for silence. His mind was burning with curiosity. Power was all he ever wanted, and this small object might hold more than all the treasure he had stolen. If it had chosen the boy, then he needed to understand why. "Very well," Scarath said, his voice echoing through the hall. "You will show me. If you are worthy, the box will prove it. If not, your bones will decorate my ship." The boy did not tremble. He only nodded again, his eyes steady. "I accept." A ripple of shock moved through the humans hiding in the shadows. This child, who should have been powerless, had just challenged the deadliest pirate in the galaxy. Scarath grinned, his burned hand still throbbing. He had no fear of a child, but deep inside a whisper of unease stirred. Still his pride would not allow him to back down. "Bring him," he ordered his men. "Take the boy to the trial chamber. Let us see what secrets this box holds." The pirates dragged the boy forward, though he walked without struggle. His small frame looked fragile between the towering aliens, yet his calm face unsettled them more than screams ever could. The humans watched in silence, their hearts torn between terror and hope. Could it be true? Could this fearless boy and his strange relic stand against the most feared pirate in the stars? As the heavy doors of the pirate ship closed behind them, one thing was certain: the galaxy had just witnessed the beginning of something no one could explain. And for the first time, the mighty Scarath wondered if he had just awakened a power greater than his own. The pirate ship rumbled as its engines carried it deeper into the void. The humans from the cargo vessel had been locked away, guarded by armed aliens. Only the boy was taken to the heart of the pirate ship, the trial chamber. The hall was vast and cold, lit by sickly green lights. Strange machines hung from the walls, dripping with steam. Chains clinked as the boy was dragged forward, yet he walked with calm steps. In his hands, the black stone box pulsed with a faint glow, as if it could sense the danger around him. Captain Scareth sat upon a throne of iron at the far end of the chamber. His burned hand was wrapped, but the pain still throbbed. His red eyes followed the boy like a hawk watching prey. Around him, his crew gathered in a circle, muttering to each other. Some wanted blood, others whispered about the relic and its strange power. Scareth raised a clawed hand and the hall fell silent. His voice boomed, deep and cruel. "Little human, you claim that box has chosen you. You say it will not serve me. I will give you a chance to prove it. If you succeed, your people may live. If you fail, your bones will hang from my mast." The pirates cheered at his words. They wanted a show. The boy did not look afraid. He held the box close to his chest and said, "Then test me. But remember, this is not about strength." "The box will decide." Scareth narrowed his eyes. He despised weakness, yet something about this child stirred both fury and curiosity inside him. "Very well," he growled. "You will walk the path of fire. If you reach the end alive, I will listen to your words." At his signal, the chamber shifted. The floor split apart, revealing a narrow bridge stretching across a pit of blazing energy. Flames rose high, licking at the walls. The heat was so intense that even the pirates stepped back. The boy looked at the bridge, then at Scareth. "If I succeed, you will release the humans and let us go." The pirates gasped. A child was daring to bargain with their captain. Scareth's grin widened. "You dare demand terms from me?" "Yes," the boy said firmly. "Because you want the truth of this box as much as I want freedom. Without me, you will never have it." Scareth froze. The boy's words cut deep. It was true. He did want to know the box's secret. And though it burned him, the child carried it without harm. For the first time in years, Scareth felt cornered. But he would never show weakness to his crew. "Very well," he growled at last. "If you reach the other side, I will grant your demand. But if you fall, your people will die screaming." The boy nodded once. "Then it is agreed." The pirates whispered loudly now. Some laughed, calling it madness. Others stared at the box's glow and wondered if fate itself was watching. The boy stepped onto the bridge. The heat slammed into him like a wall, but he did not turn back. Each step made the metal groan. Flames licked at his skin, but the box in his arms pulsed brighter, sending out a faint shield of light. Gasps echoed from the pirates. "The fire bends away from him," one shouted. "It cannot be," another cried. Scareth's eyes narrowed. His crew's faith was shifting, and that angered him. Yet deep inside, he too felt the stirrings of something he could not name. The boy walked slowly, sweat rolling down his face. The bridge shook violently as though testing him. Once a burst of flame shot up, nearly swallowing him whole, but the box flared, forming a barrier. The pirates roared in shock. Halfway across, the boy's knees weakened. The heat pressed harder, and the glow around him flickered. For a moment, it looked as if he would fall. The pirates cheered for his failure, but Scareth leaned forward, watching with burning eyes. The boy clenched his jaw, whispering words only he could hear. "I will not fail. I promise them." The box pulsed again, stronger than before. The flames bent aside, the shaking slowed, and the path cleared before him. Step by step, he reached the other side of the bridge. The chamber was silent. The pirates who expected death now stood frozen. A child had walked through fire and survived. The boy turned, his face pale but steady. He raised the box toward Scareth. "I have proven myself." "Now keep your word," murmurs spread. Many of the crew looked at Scareth with unease. If their captain broke his promise now, he would seem weak before them. Yet the thought of bending to a child made his blood boil. Scareth rose from his throne, towering over the crowd. His voice thundered across the chamber. "You may have crossed the fire, but this trial is not over. The box has shown me it holds power, and I will take it whether it chooses me or not." The crew gasped. Some shouted in agreement, others in fear. The boy clutched the box tighter, his eyes locked on Scareth. "You swore," the boy said quietly. "A promise broken brings only ruin," Scareth roared, raising his weapon high. His pride would not allow him to yield. And as the pirates circled, torn between loyalty to their captain and the mystery of the child, the chamber trembled with the weight of destiny. The chamber shook with the sound of Scareth's roar. His promise meant nothing now. The boy had walked the path of fire, but instead of honor, the pirate captain's greed burned brighter. He wanted the relic. He wanted its power. The crew stood divided. Some shouted for the captain to kill the boy and claim the box. Others muttered nervously, pointing at the glow that surrounded the child. A few pirates lowered their weapons, fear creeping into their hearts. If the box had chosen the boy, what might happen if their captain defied it? The boy stood firm, clutching the stone box against his chest. His small frame looked fragile, but his voice carried strength. "You swore to let us go," he said. "Break your word and you will face more than me." "The box will decide your fate," Scareth snarled, his red eyes blazing. "I am the master of my fate. Not a stone, not a child." He slammed his weapon into the floor, sending sparks across the chamber. Then the floor began to change. The walls shifted and groaned as if the ship itself had awakened. Strange machines unfolded from the walls, glowing with the same light as the box. A hidden trial had been triggered, not by Scareth, but by the relic itself. Gasps rose from the pirates. "What is this?" "The chamber, it's alive!" Before their eyes, the trial of courage began. The boy was lifted by a platform onto a higher level of the chamber. The floor below split apart, revealing endless darkness. Bridges of light formed, thin and fragile, stretching across the void. Floating orbs of fire and shadow moved back and forth, blocking the paths. A deep alien voice echoed through the chamber. Not human, not any language the pirates knew. Yet somehow the boy understood. Courage is not the absence of fear. It is the strength to walk forward, even when fear surrounds you. The boy's heart pounded. The pirates shouted from below, some cheering for his death, others stunned into silence. Scareth's face twisted with rage. He had no control anymore. The relic had taken command. The boy stepped onto the first bridge of light. It wavered under his foot like glass about to shatter. Below, the endless dark waited to swallow him whole. But he did not stop. 1 step. 2 steps. His breath quickened, but his eyes stayed forward. The orbs of fire drifted close, burning hot. The box in his hands pulsed, forming a faint barrier. The flames hissed against it but did not break through. The pirates watched in awe. "He walks on light itself." "Impossible. Only chosen blood could do this," Scareth growled. He hated the way his crew's eyes followed the boy instead of him. Halfway across, the path split into 3. One bridge glowed bright, another dim, and the third flickered like it might vanish. The boy hesitated. If he chose wrong, he would fall. His hands tightened on the box. He whispered softly, "Show me." The box pulsed once. The dim path brightened just for a moment. The boy understood. He stepped onto it. The pirates gasped again. "It guides him. The relic is alive." The boy's journey grew harder. The orbs of fire moved faster, striking like serpents. Twice they slammed into his shield, nearly throwing him into the abyss. His arms trembled, sweat dripping down his face. He was only a child, yet he walked where no adult dared. At the final stretch, the bridge began to break apart. Pieces of light crumbled under his feet, vanishing into the dark. The boy ran, clutching the box tightly. Behind him, the path collapsed into nothing. One last leap and he landed safely on the other side. The chamber glowed brighter. The alien voice echoed again. "The child has walked with courage. The relic confirms its choice." The pirates fell silent. Even the loudest among them dared not speak. The boy stood victorious. He had passed the trial of courage, something no pirate, no warrior, no captain had ever done. But Scareth would not accept defeat. His pride was too great. He stepped forward, raising his weapon high. His voice thundered. "This proves nothing. He is just a child, protected by tricks. That power belongs to me." He leapt onto the bridge of light. The crew shouted warnings, but Scareth ignored them. His boot struck the glowing path, and instantly the light shattered beneath him. The mighty pirate captain fell into the abyss. Gasps filled the chamber. The crew rushed forward, peering into the dark. For a moment it seemed Scareth was gone forever. Then a roar echoed from below. A clawed hand grabbed the edge, and Scareth pulled himself up, his armor scorched, his body smoking. His red eyes burned hotter than ever. The boy stood tall, box glowing in his arms. Scareth glared at him with hatred so deep it shook the chamber. "This is not over," he growled. "You may have survived the trial, but now you face me." The crew stood frozen between fear and awe. The child had passed the trial. The relic had chosen him, and yet their captain still lived, more furious than ever. The chamber trembled again, as if the ship itself awaited the clash between a fearless boy and the most feared pirate in the galaxy. The chamber still shook from the echo of Scareth's roar. The pirate captain had climbed out of the abyss, his armor scorched, his body trembling with fury. His crew watched in silence, unsure whether to cheer or to tremble. Their captain looked more like a beast than a leader now, his red eyes blazing with pure rage. The boy stood on the far side of the chamber, the stone box glowing in his arms. Though his body was tired and his skin burned from heat, his eyes were calm. The relic pulsed gently as if it were alive, as if it drew strength from the courage inside him. Scarath pointed his weapon at the child. His voice thundered like a storm. "You dare humiliate me before my crew? You dare stand against me with tricks and light? That power is mine. Hand it over, boy, or I will tear you apart." The pirates murmured in fear. Some shouted for the boy to run. Others told their captain to stop, afraid of the relic's strange force. But Scarath's pride was greater than his fear. He stepped forward, each footfall shaking the chamber. The boy lifted the relic higher. Its glow spread wider, painting the walls with strange patterns, symbols older than memory. Suddenly the chamber itself answered. The machines along the walls began to hum, their lights flickering in rhythm with the relic. Then a voice filled the air. It was not human nor alien, but something far greater, deep, ancient, and heavy like the weight of time itself. "We are the first makers. We left our gifts to those who would walk with courage. The relic chooses the fearless. It binds itself to hearts that do not bow to fear." The pirates fell to their knees, clutching their ears. The sound was too great, too heavy for their minds. Only the boy stood unharmed, bathed in the relic's glow. Scarath growled, his teeth bared. "Ancient voices mean nothing to me. I bow to no one." He swung his weapon toward the boy, but before he could strike, a burst of light shot from the relic, blocking the blow. The force knocked Scarath back, sending him crashing into the wall. The boy's small hands trembled, but he did not drop the box. His voice was steady. "It does not bow to you because you live for greed. It has chosen me because I stand for something greater." Scarath rose slowly, his chest heaving. The glow of the relic made his crew look at the boy with wide eyes. Some pirates began whispering, "He is chosen. He is bonded." Others pulled away from their captain, fear in their faces. The voice of the relic spoke again, louder now, filling every corner of the chamber. "The bond has been formed. The relic has chosen the child. His courage is the key. Through him we awaken." The box cracked open, splitting into pieces that floated in the air. The glowing symbols circled the boy, wrapping him in light. The pirates gasped as the relic reshaped itself into a shining bracelet that locked around the boy's wrist. The boy stared at it, stunned. The bracelet pulsed like a heartbeat. He felt energy flow through his body, filling him with warmth, strength, and clarity. For the first time he understood. The relic was alive, and it had chosen him forever. Scarath's rage reached its peak. His pride could not accept this. He roared so loud the walls shook. "No child will steal my destiny. That relic should be mine." He charged again, swinging his blade with all his strength. But as he struck, the bracelet flared. A shield of pure light erupted, shattering the weapon into pieces. The force threw Scarath back across the chamber, leaving him on his knees, gasping in disbelief. The crew looked from their captain to the boy. Their fear of Scarath was great, but what they had just witnessed was greater. For the first time, the mighty pirate captain looked weak. And for the first time, a human child looked stronger than any of them. The boy lowered his arm, the glow fading slightly. He looked at Scarath and said quietly, "The relic does not want you. It wants me. You can fight it, but you will lose, because it has bonded." The word bonded echoed through the chamber. The pirates whispered it like a spell. Many of them stepped back from Scarath, their loyalty cracking. They had followed him for years, but now their eyes betrayed doubt. Could it be that destiny had chosen a human child instead of their ruthless leader? Scarath's claws dug into the floor. His pride screamed against what he saw, but his crew's shifting eyes filled him with fear. If he lost them, he lost everything. "This is not finished," he spat, his voice trembling with fury. "Bond or no bond, I will break you. And when I do, that relic will be mine." The boy said nothing. The bracelet glowed softly, as if waiting. The pirates stood in tense silence, caught between two fates, their captain's rage or the relic's chosen. And in that silence, one truth became clear. This was no longer just a fight between a boy and a pirate. This was a battle that would shake the galaxy itself. The chamber hung in silence after the relic bound itself to the boy. The glowing bracelet pulsed like a living heart, sending waves of light across the steel walls. The pirates stared in disbelief. Their captain, Scarath, the most feared raider in the galaxy, had been thrown to his knees by a human child. Whispers spread like fire through the crew. The relic has chosen him. The boy is bonded. The captain cannot touch it. Some pirates looked at Scareth with doubt, others with fear. A few even lowered their weapons. For the first time, the crew wondered if their leader's reign was coming to an end. Scareth rose slowly, smoke rising from his broken weapon. His chest heaved, his red eyes burned. Pride and fury dripped from every word as he roared, "I am your captain! Do not forget who made you rich, who led you to plunder worlds. This child is nothing. He tricks you with glowing lights and weak words." But the pirates hesitated. They had seen the relic reject him. They had seen it protect the boy. Some of them had spent years chasing myths of ancient treasures, and now one of those myths stood before them, pulsing with truth. The boy did not speak loudly. His voice was calm, but it carried through the hall. "I am not your enemy," he said. "But if you keep following a leader who breaks promises and chases only greed, you will all fall with him." The relic does not lie. It shows the truth. Those words struck deeper than any weapon. The pirates glanced at each other, torn. Loyalty to their captain had been built on fear and blood. But now something greater called to them. Scareth saw the doubt in their eyes. His pride twisted into rage. He pointed at the boy, spitting fury. "Kill him. Kill the child before his lies poison you further." A group of pirates stepped forward with blades and rifles. But something strange happened. Another group of pirates blocked their path, raising their weapons not against the boy but against their own. Gasps filled the chamber. A split had formed. Half the crew still followed Scareth's command, but the other half had turned, choosing the boy and the relic instead. "Stand aside," a loyalist growled. "No," another pirate answered. "We will not fight destiny. The relic has chosen him." Chaos erupted. Steel clashed against steel. Blaster fire cracked through the air. The pirate crew had turned on itself. Sparks rained from the ceiling as machines shattered under stray shots. The boy stood in the center of it all, clutching the glowing bracelet. The light flared, forming shields to block blasts that came too close. He could feel its power surging inside him, guiding him. Yet his heart ached. He had not wanted this. He was only a boy. But now even grown pirates were fighting because of him. Scareth roared and threw himself into the battle, striking down rebels with his bare claws. His strength was monstrous, but his crew's betrayal made his fury blind. He bellowed, "You are mine! All of you! I made you pirates, and I will bury you as traitors." But the more he shouted, the more men turned from him. The boy's courage had sparked something dangerous to Scareth. Hope. One pirate shouted over the chaos, "We have followed fear long enough. Let us follow courage instead." Those words spread like wildfire. More blades turned against the captain's loyalists. The rebellion grew stronger. The boy felt the bracelet tug at him, pulling him toward a control panel at the far wall. He didn't know why, but he obeyed. When his hand touched the panel, the relic flared. Suddenly he understood. The ship itself was tied to the relic. Its systems, its weapons, its very heart could be commanded through the bond. The ship groaned and shifted. Doors sealed, locking Scareth's loyalists inside corners of the chamber. Guns mounted on the walls moved, aiming not at the boy, but at the captain himself. Scareth's eyes widened. His ship, his pride was turning against him. "You dare steal my ship?" he roared. "I will rip that cursed relic from your bones." He charged at the boy, but the rebels stood in his way, forming a wall of bodies. Even pirates who once feared Scareth with their lives now raised blades to stop him. The battle raged. Sparks and smoke filled the air. The chamber shook with every blast. At the center of it all, the boy raised his wrist. The relic's light shone brighter than ever, spreading across the hall like a dawn breaking through night. It calmed some pirates, gave courage to others, and blinded those who still clung to greed. The rebellion was no longer just about pirates. It was about something larger. For the first time, humanity stood in the center of a legend, but Scareth refused to fall. Bloodied, burned, and roaring, he tore through rebels with sheer fury. His eyes locked on the boy, hatred deeper than the abyss. "This ends with you, child," he thundered. "If I must burn this entire ship to ash, I will bury you with it." And with a final roar, he slammed his hand into the ship's core controls. Alarms blared. The floor shook violently. Red lights flashed across the chamber. The ship was beginning to tear itself apart. The pirate ship roared like a wounded beast. Alarms screamed, flames burst from broken pipes, and red lights flashed across every wall. Skarath's clawed hand pressed deep into the ship's core, forcing it toward destruction. The mighty vessel that had terrorized entire sectors was now eating itself alive. The pirates screamed in panic. Some fled through the collapsing halls while others continued fighting, blades and blasters clashing in the smoke. The rebellion had already torn the crew apart, but now the ship itself became their enemy. At the center of it all stood the boy, clutching the glowing relic on his wrist. Its light pulsed stronger, almost desperate, as if calling to him. He could feel the ship's pain through the bond. The vessel was connected to the relic, and if he did nothing, thousands would die, pirates, humans, even himself. Skarath stood across the chamber, blood dripping down his burned armor, his eyes burning with madness. If I cannot have this power, then no one will. He roared, "Let the stars see us both fall!" The boy's voice cut through the chaos. It was not loud, but it carried across the chamber like steel. "No, the stars will see you fall. Not me." The relic flared and the boy raised his hand. Energy burst from the bracelet, striking the walls and sealing off parts of the ship. Systems that Skarath had destroyed tried to repair themselves under the relic's command. For a moment hope returned, but Skarath charged again, his claws tearing through rebels who stood in his way. Nothing could stop him. He was wounded, broken, but still monstrous. Every step shook the floor. His rage was unstoppable. The boy stood firm, though his small body trembled. He felt the relic's power flowing into him, filling his veins with fire. It was too much for a child, but he refused to let go. If he fell, everyone would fall with him. The two met in the center of the chamber. Skarath's claws came down like hammers. The boy lifted his arm, the relic's light forming a shield. Sparks flew as claw met light again and again, each strike shaking the hull. The pirates watched in stunned silence. Their captain, feared across the galaxy, was locked in battle with a boy, and neither gave way. Skarath roared, "You are nothing, a weak human child. You cannot kill me." The boy's eyes blazed. "I don't need to kill you. I only need to stand." Those words echoed louder than the alarms, and as if answering, the relic exploded with light. The entire ship glowed from within, as though a star had been born inside it. Skarath screamed as the light engulfed him. His claws burned, his armor shattered, and the force threw him across the chamber. He crashed to the ground, his strength broken. When the light faded, he was on his knees, trembling. The boy stood tall, the relic still glowing on his wrist. His chest rose and fell with heavy breaths, but his eyes were steady. He had not bowed. He had not broken. Skarath tried to rise, but his legs failed. His voice cracked with rage and disbelief. "I am Skarath, conqueror of worlds. I do not kneel." But as the relic's glow surrounded him, his body betrayed him. His knees hit the floor. His head bowed. For the first time in his life, the pirate captain knelt, not by choice, but by the weight of something greater than himself. Gasps filled the chamber. The pirates stared in shock. The boy had not killed their captain. He had made him kneel. The relic's voice spoke once more, calm and final. "The fearless heart commands respect. Courage bends even the mighty." The boy lowered his hand, the light fading to a soft glow. He looked at the crew, his voice steady despite his exhaustion. "This ship no longer belongs to fear. It belongs to those who choose courage." The rebels dropped their weapons and bowed their heads. Even some of Skarath's loyalists, shaken by what they had seen, sank to their knees. The chamber was filled not with the sound of blasters, but with silence, the silence of surrender. Word of what happened spread quickly, carried by frightened survivors and trembling whispers. Across the galaxy, stories began to rise. A human boy armed with nothing but courage and a strange relic had faced the most feared pirate in the stars, and made him kneel. The legend stunned empires and warlords alike. It traveled faster than ships, carried on every tongue. Some laughed at the tale, others trembled, but all agreed. Humanity was no longer weak prey. The boy stood quietly, staring at the kneeling Skarath. He did not smile. He did not boast. He only whispered, almost to himself, "This is only the beginning." And in that moment, the galaxy realized a truth that would echo for generations. Fear could be broken, even by a child.